Hello and welcome to another Battletech video. This is part 1 in an ongoing beginner's primer that I'll be doing. Today I'll be discussing pilot skills. Now before we begin, please take note that you can only get 2 tier 1 skills and only 1 tier 2 skill. So what that means is if I was to go down the gunnery line and obtain gunnery 5, I would unlock multi-shot. If I was to go further down the gunnery line and obtain gunnery 8, I would unlock breaching shot. Then after that I can no longer obtain any tier 2 skills, but I can obtain one more tier 1 skill. So if I was to go down the guts skill line at skill 5, I would unlock bulwark. But if I got to skill 8, I would not unlock juggernaut. Also what that means is since I've already obtained bulwark, if I was to go down the tactician line after that, and I would go to tactician 5, I would not unlock sensor lock. So I would only have multi-shot from gunnery as well as breaching shot and only bulwark, even if I got 10 in all 4 skills. So it's very important that you choose your skills very carefully to match your playstyle. Now also keep in mind that even though you cannot unlock any more skills after you've unlocked your initial 3, it's still a good idea to max out all the skills eventually, because you still get the bonuses from the skills, you just can't obtain their specific skills that they give you. So it's still a good idea to max everything out. Now with that being said, let's first start off and talk about gunnery, as that directly correlates to your base weapon hit chance. Now the first skill at skill 5 is multi-target. What that allows you to do is fire up to 3 separate targets. So here, as you can see, I have my awesome, and he's going to multi-target a dragon and a banshee in the back. I'm going to fire 3 PPCs at the dragon, and then I'm going to fire my last PPC at the banshee just to knock him over. So that adds a lot of strategic value to that. And as you can see, I knocked down the banshee doing a pilot injury. Now at gunnery 8, that you obtain breaching shot, which is really good. What it does is if you fire one single weapon at an enemy mech, you will ignore guarded as well as cover. So as you can see here, I have a grasshopper that's guarded. Now please keep in mind you can still multi-target, and as long as you only fire one weapon at each mech, you'll gain breaching shot on both targets. So as you can see, both grasshoppers, I will breaching shot through their guarded, which is really powerful. Here at piloting 5, it unlocks evasive movement. What that does is you can generate 1 extra evasion chevron. So as you can see here, I have my stalker, and if he sprints at max speed, normally that stalker would only get 4 evasion chevrons, but instead he will obtain 5. As you can see there are 5. Now for piloting 8, it unlocks a skill called Ace Pilot. What this does is if you forego your movement and you shoot with that with your mech, after the shooting phase, it will allow you to move. So as you can see here, I have my stalker and I'm firing at 2 enemy tanks. I have not moved my stalker yet, so after I finish firing at these mechs or at these tanks, I will be allowed to move. That opens up a lot of strategic possibilities. So as you can see now, here we go, my stalker now has the ability to move. Now if you move before you fired, you will not be allowed to move afterwards, so you only get 1 movement phase basically. But there you go. Next we'll go into guts. At guts 5, you obtain bulwark, which is really powerful. If you do not move, you will gain guarded from the front and the side. So as you can see here, you can still fire, and you know, if you can combine this with multi-shot and breaching shot. As long as you don't move, you will obtain guarded, which is really powerful. Guarded, what it does is it reduces damage by 50%, and it also lowers stability damage that's incoming towards your mech. Now here at Guts 8 unlocks Juggernaut, and what that does is when you melee, you gain +1 initiative, I think. Oh no, the enemy receives -1 initiative, which is it's okay. I don't really like Juggernaut very much. Now here at Tactics 5, it unlocks Sensor Lock, and what Sensor Lock does is for those red enemy mechs that are in the fog of war, you can reveal them, as you can see right here, and that allows your friendly mechs to target him, even though that they should be in fog of war. And lastly, the Master Tactician skill. What that does is when a mech with Tactician hits the reserve button, for the next turn they will gain +1 initiative, and they will also remove some of the stability damage that they have occurred when they do it. Now that can be really helpful when you have your front mech with really big alpha strikes and you want to be able to go earlier in the turn before the enemies can go in the next turn. But I personally, I don't really use it for any mech other than my front lead mech, if I'm to use it at all. At very high endgame gameplay, I tend to like Breaching Shot and Bulwark, or I tend to prefer that. And the reason for that is the enemy will often use Bulwark as well, and when they do, if you don't have Breaching Shot, you basically have to do double the amount of damage that you normally would have to inflict on them. And that's why I like Bulwark, because when the enemy is targeting my mechs, I want them to basically have double the amount of armor. And the other very important thing is when a mech is guarded by Bulwark, or if they brace, they manually click the brace button, they take less incoming stability damage as well. And when you're running full lances of assault mechs, they have quite a lot of armor, so you can generally survive enemy damage for a very long time. But when you take pilot damage, regardless of the mech that you have, if you take 6 points of pilot damage, your pilot dies, even if your mech is fully armored. So please keep that in mind when you're planning out your skills. Once again, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, and if you like the content that I've been putting out, please hit a subscribe to stay up to date with my future videos that I'll be putting out. Thank you and have a nice day. Goodbye.